My name is Kenji. Have you ever checked your bank account and for the first time you didn't feel tension in your chest? You didn't rush to close the app. You didn't start calculating how many days were left until your next paycheck. You just looked and felt okay. That moment feels subtle, almost insignificant, but it's the moment your relationship with money begins to change. And contrary to what most people believe, that shift doesn't happen at $1 million. It happens much earlier. For most Americans, that number is $50,000. $50,000 doesn't make you rich. It doesn't buy luxury. It doesn't change your social status. But it does something far more important. It changes how your brain works. Most financial advice focuses on extreme outcomes: early retirement, seven-figure net worth, financial freedom in bold, dramatic terms. But almost nobody talks about the quiet milestones, the ones that don't look impressive from the outside, yet completely reshape how you live on the inside. $50,000 is one of those milestones, and once you reach it, the rules start to change. Wealth doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows in phases. There are invisible financial thresholds that act like walls, and until you cross them, progress feels painfully slow. Think of it like pushing a heavy boulder uphill. At the beginning, every step takes effort. You're tired, you're uncertain, and you constantly wonder if the struggle is even worth it. But once the boulder reaches the top, gravity takes over. The hardest part was never the speed, it was overcoming resistance. $50,000 is that first real breakthrough. Before this point, most people live in what psychologists call survival mode. When you don't have savings, your brain becomes defensive. Every decision is filtered through fear and urgency. You take the first job that pays. You stay in situations you hate because leaving feels dangerous. You avoid risk, not because it's irrational, but because you can't afford a mistake. This isn't a mindset problem, it's a biological response to scarcity. A brain under financial stress cannot think strategically. But something changes when you build a real financial buffer. With $50,000 saved, you're no longer asking, "How do I survive the next few weeks?" You start asking, "How do I want my life to look over the next few years?" Unexpected expenses stop feeling like disasters. They become inconveniences. A car repair no longer ruins your month. A medical bill no longer triggers panic. A job problem no longer feels like a trap. You gain space, mentally and emotionally. This is also where money starts behaving differently. Early on, saving feels unrewarding. Progress is slow. Returns are small. But at $50,000, the math finally becomes noticeable. Even modest investment returns start to matter. Your money begins contributing meaningfully to your progress. You're still doing the work, but now your money is working with you. This is where compound growth stops being theoretical and starts becoming tangible. But here's the part almost everyone misunderstands. The most valuable thing you gain by reaching $50,000 is not the money itself. It's what you had to become in order to get there. Unless you were handed this money, saving $50,000 requires discipline, consistency, delayed gratification. It requires learning how to say no, how to prioritize, how to resist lifestyle inflation. By the time you reach this milestone, you've already proven something critical to yourself. You are capable of controlling money instead of being controlled by it. That skill matters more than any number in your account. Before this point, small expenses feel heavy. You overthink every purchase. You second-guess yourself constantly. After this point, your focus shifts. You stop obsessing over small decisions and start paying attention to the big ones: where you live, what you drive, how you earn, how you invest. You realize that these choices shape your financial future far more than daily habits ever could. That realization is freeing. Your relationship with work changes as well. When you live paycheck to paycheck, you negotiate from weakness. You tolerate bad jobs, toxic environments, and unreasonable demands because you don't have an exit. But savings change the power dynamic. With $50,000, you gain what I call financial leverage. Not arrogance, not recklessness, leverage. You can walk away if you need to. You can negotiate without fear. You can wait for better opportunities instead of grabbing the first one available. And here's the irony. Most people never actually use this safety net. Just knowing it exists changes how they show up. They become more confident, more assertive, more willing to take on meaningful challenges. And that often leads to higher income, which accelerates the cycle even further. This is where many people make a critical mistake. They reach this milestone and immediately destroy it. A new car, an expensive vacation, a lifestyle upgrade that feels deserved. But $50,000 is not a reward. It's a foundation. It's the base that future wealth is built on. Spending it resets the clock and puts you right back where you started. Here's a difficult truth. Over a lifetime, many people spend more on cars than it would take to become financially independent. Between payments, insurance, maintenance, and depreciation, enormous amounts of money quietly disappear. A car payment can make you feel successful, but financially, it often does the opposite. Once you understand opportunity cost, your thinking changes. You stop asking, "Can I afford the monthly payment?" and start asking, "What future am I giving up for this decision?" A $40,000 purchase is never just $40,000. It's years of compound growth you no longer get. Suddenly, driving a reliable older car doesn't feel like sacrifice. It feels intentional, strategic. This mindset carries into every major decision: housing, career moves, lifestyle choices. Not in a joyless, restrictive way, but in a deliberate one. You stop spending money accidentally. You start using it on purpose. $50,000 will not make you wealthy, but it will fundamentally change how you think, how you decide, how you move through life. It's the difference between reacting and building, between surviving and progressing. If you reach this milestone and protect it, everything that comes after becomes easier. Start building that foundation now. Your future self is already counting on it. My name is Kenji.